Hello, welcome to yet another amazing client interview of the Software Engineering Accelerator. Today we're talking to Ria Patekar. Now, Ria is currently a sophomore at UW-Madison, my alma mater. And before the program, she was a freshman. She had submitted dozens of applications, had one interview, and zero offers. She was really struggling with the hiring process. Yet after the accelerator, we went through her resume, completely rewrote that from scratch. We redid her LinkedIn. We helped her with coding and behavioral interviews. And after the program, she got interviews at companies like Amazon, Microsoft, and Apple, almost all of the FAANG companies. And finally, she got an incredible software engineering offer at Microsoft. I'm super proud of her result, and you could just hear it in her voice how confident she is that the accelerator was the right decision and helped her get those amazing offers. So here is Ria Patekar. Before you joined the program, I believe this was a couple months ago. So kind of give me some background. Where were you in life? What are you currently doing, and what was your background?
Yeah, so when I joined, I had no internship experience. I think I joined like after the summer of my freshman year. So right before I was going to right before I was going to enter my sophomore year of college. And I had no internship experience on my resume. I had like a couple of projects on there that I had done from classes or like summer programs from high school. So that's kind of where I was.
Got it. So you came in around the fall time. You're
Yeah.
currently in sophomore year. So you had your
Yeah.
freshman year, didn't really have any internships on the resume. How did you feel about the process? Had you tried applying last year? Had you tried applying this
Yeah.
year? What was kind of going through your head around this time?
I feel like for me, like the process was very just like all over the place. Like I didn't have a lot of structure in the process, and I just felt like I was kind of just applying like anywhere, and I didn't know where like what websites to use to apply, and I didn't know like yeah, I was applying, but I didn't know if I was applying in like the most optimized way possible. Like I didn't know if I was applying with the right resume, and I feel like that was the main issue with me. Like I just felt like I didn't have a lot of structure.
Got it. And had you done any interviews last year when you were doing this internship acquisition process?
I had one interview with Cisco, and I got that because my mom works there. So she had kind of like talked to somebody that she knew from the company, but it wasn't really through like me having a great resume or anything. She was just able to talk to somebody and get me that interview.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. Going into your decision to join the accelerator, tell me more about that. So what did you find about the program?
Mhm.
What motivated you to book that call and eventually join the program?
So I found who you were through your YouTube channel. And I saw that in one of the videos you were talking about the accelerator program. And actually, initially, like the reason that I booked the call was because you went to Madison, and and I go to Madison too. So I just like, I don't know, I just like thought it would be cool to like talk to somebody who went to Madison, who like I think that your background was kind of similar to mine, like a CS student from Madison. So I just wanted to have a conversation with you. And then after I booked that call, I was still not completely sure if I wanted to join yet. So you gave me a couple of contacts from people who were doing the program at the time. And I talked to them. And after I talked to them, I realized, yeah, like I think that's something that I want to do. Some of the questions that I asked them included like, do you feel like the program helped you have more structure in the application process? Because that was the thing that I was looking for. And they said it did. And they made it clear like it was going to be my work. Like it wasn't going to be you doing the work for me. But I knew that like I was willing to put in effort. I knew that that's the thing that I would do. I just needed somebody to guide me. And I felt like after talking to them, that's something that I would get from the program. So I decided to join.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds great. Let's talk about your experience in the program. So first of all, if anybody watching this or listening knows, basically the program, we start with resume reviews. We go through your resume line by line by line, do that from scratch. We go through your LinkedIn, help you get referrals, then also help you pass those interviews. So let's actually go line by line through that entire process. So how did you feel like the resume feedback was in the accelerator, and did that make a difference?
Yeah, that made a difference. I think that that was actually one of the main things that made a difference for me. Before the program, I had a lot of trouble, like kind of telling people like, oh, I'm like such a like qualified person. Like I felt very awkward with, like, I guess like marketing myself. And even like the things on my resume, like I felt very awkward about like making them seem as good as possible and stuff like that. But I think that one important piece of advice that you gave me is like, this is literally what your resume is for. Like you're supposed to market yourself. So after you convinced me to do that, I think that helped a lot. And I included a lot more information, a lot more specific numbers, things like that, which I wasn't really comfortable doing before.
Great. And what did that translate into in terms of actual interviews? Because if I remember, you had great interview success in terms of landing those
Yeah,
interviews, especially after we started working together. So tell me more about
yeah.
that. I guess what companies did you end up getting interviews at?
Yeah. So I ended up getting interviews at Meta, Apple, Microsoft, which is where I accepted my offer, and then Amazon as well.
Amazing. So pretty much
Yeah.
all paying companies at that.
Yeah, I was extremely surprised. Like I thought like that was crazy to me. And like coming from like my experience last year, I was super happy and I just thought that was insane.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds great. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the LinkedIn and referral help. Did you end up using that? Did you feel like it was super helpful? And did you end up getting any referrals?
Yeah, so for some of the companies that I just mentioned, I did get referrals. For some of them, I didn't. So for Microsoft, I didn't get a referral. And for so I don't know. I think that it was helpful, and I think that it was helpful for me to make the attempt. Some of them, it just like I just feel like I didn't because like for example, for Microsoft, I talked to somebody at the company, and they said that they didn't think that it would be helpful, and I kind of just wanted to apply. So
Mhm.
I ended up applying without getting a referral. But I think for some of them, it definitely did make a difference for me, especially with like Apple and stuff. I was able to get a contact with an email, like an email of somebody who actually works there, like a hiring manager. And I really feel like that made a difference.
Awesome.
And then with LinkedIn, yeah, like I think that it helped also. I had like nothing on my LinkedIn before, and if you look at it now, like it looks a lot better. Like I have it looks a lot more presentable. Like I have like a nice picture there. I have like all of my information filled out. So it's better.
Awesome. Yeah, I completely agree with that. This is kind of a funny story, but we actually had someone recently come on a consultation call and be like, all those reviews on the website, like all these people are super qualified. That's why they have their internships.
Hmm.
And it turns out they had looked at all of your guys' LinkedIn's and we're
Yeah.
like all these people are super qualified. But what they didn't realize is that we actually made your LinkedIn's amazing by working directly
Yeah.
together on that. So it kind of goes to show it
Yeah.
really does make a difference in terms of that first impression there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
like even when I was looking at the LinkedIn's of like other people from the program, I was like, yeah, these people definitely seem more qualified. But I was like, wait, but like I literally have the same LinkedIn because like I did that too.
awesome. So let's talk about the second half of the program, the actual
Hmm.
interview help. So I know if I recall correctly, we did do some behavioral interviews, I think, right? We
Yeah.
did do coding interviews, or you did coding interviews with our coding interview coach. So tell me
Hmm.
about that. Did you use the interviews? Did you feel like they were helpful?
Yeah, I thought that they were helpful. I think the most helpful part of that for me was that we worked on this worksheet, the behavioral worksheet that we basically just wrote down like five different scenarios. And I felt like every time I had an interview, it was like a super accessible place where I could just go and just like, remember it super fast, practice saying it like two or three times before the interview. And it was just like all in one place. Like I didn't have to like go in blind. Like when I had that interview with Cisco last year, I went in completely blind. I had no idea what to say. But then for these ones, like I had a lot more interviews this year, and every single time before the interview, without fail, I would just go to that one website. It was just like, or that one Google Doc where we wrote everything down. I would practice it a couple times, and I was good. Like I felt confident. I felt like I knew exactly what to say. And I think that the questions actually that you picked out were very similar to the questions that I got in the interviews.
Amazing. That's what I love to hear. Every time I hear that
Yeah,
mock interviews are nearly identical, especially behavioral to the questions you get, that's awesome. Great feedback. And there's a reason I stick to those 30 questions because I feel like they're super
yeah,
comprehensive. If you can answer those 30 questions in our module, like you can pretty much cover any behavioral interview, even if you don't get a question.
yeah,
So that's great feedback there. So,
yeah.
Ria, actually tell me about your outcome here. So, I think you mentioned it earlier. You got an amazing offer at Microsoft. So,
Mhm.
tell me about that offer, when you're starting, and how you feel about that.
So I'll be starting after my school ends. It's going to be a summer internship. It's going to be around May 15th. That's my start date. It's going to be in Seattle. In terms of the offer, I think it's going to be about $51 an hour. And I also got a $10,000 housing stipend, which is really nice. So super excited to be in Seattle for the summer.
That's outstanding. And I mean, you're literally
Yeah.
a sophomore right now, right? So this is not
Yeah.
even
Well, technically I'm a junior, so I have one more year after this.
got it.
Yeah, just because I like came in with some APs, but yeah,
Mhm.
I still think it's pretty cool.
Well, still outstanding result there, and
Yeah.
super proud of you. Super happy. I mean, I think everybody else is in the school as well to see
Yeah,
that.
it was really nice to see everybody's support. Like that's another thing. Like I love the community that we have.
Awesome. Great. Sounds good. Well, I guess final question in terms of Riveria. For someone just like you who's caught on the fence about the program, their second year, third year, they've seen some of the results, they've seen some of my content. They're kind of like, is this thing worth it? Is it worth investing in this to actually get the outcome? Did you feel like the program was worth it? And would you recommend that someone who's similar to you join the accelerator?
Yeah, I would for sure recommend to somebody who's similar to me. I feel like the knowledge that I've gained from this program not only helped me in this cycle, but it'll help me in the future as well. I have all these worksheets now, and I have all my information written out, so I don't have to keep like thinking about what to do next. Like I just have this like very simple format that I can just like grind it out and just, I have it all. So I think it's not just like investing it into one summer, but it's actually investing into like many other interviews and many other times where I'm going to have opportunities like this again.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming today. Really appreciate the feedback.
Of course. Thank you so much.